Phase up or phase down? We're going to talk about Faze Clan and their Valorant roster. Are they on the up or are they on the down? I remember watching Faze Clan in their first tournament, which was the Ignition series, and remembering, wow, these guys have incredible aim. But as a team, they were nothing special, right? Nothing to write home about. Have they improved since that Ignition series tournament? Or are they still just a team that will always be, yeah, they just had a lot of potential, but it never worked out? Also, why does FaZe always get involved in some sort of petty drama? Especially from Marv, who is their IGL. What he did was unacceptable, and this negative attention is not good for the squad as a whole. Many doubt this roster to actually win any silverware, but these guys are a very talented group, with Marv, who has a lot of CSGO experience, teaching the Overwatch guys how to do the basic fundamentals. Even though his CSGO experience is kind of shady, it will still benefit the team as Marv does the IGL. Corey has godlike aim and mechanics. Zachary is a solid support player, and Baby Bay has potential to be an aggressive force on the jet for FaZe. Raucus, even though very underwhelming, he still does clutch a decent amount of rounds for FaZe. FaZe has the ability to out-aim any opponent due to their fantastic mechanics in-game. The problem with FaZe is they take on too many individual duels. In this first strike preview, we're looking at map performances from FaZe, latest results, star performers and underperformers. We're going to talk about FaZe in the second UMG Open qualifiers and how did they perform, and also, can this roster make the first strike main event? That's the big question here, guys. That's the question. Looking at FaZe Clan's latest results, their last 5, they're 4 wins and 1 loss. A loss against Space Station Gaming, and this didn't allow them to qualify into the first UMG Open qualifiers, which, prior to the second Open qualifiers, FaZe wasn't looking too good. They didn't build consistency. But with these 4 wins on the bounce, they're building consistency, and this could propel them into the first strike main event. Looking at map picks and map performance for FaZe Clan, we can see that Bind's on the top with a 72% win rate. This is a very strong map for FaZe. Raucus and Marv are a lockdown duo on the A site. Marv on the Omen, Raucus on Sova. Ori on Raze, and abusing utility to spam and hookah is a very strong stalling option and info gathering option for FaZe on the defense. Baby Bay's constant movement with the op, peeking hookah, A short, showers, B long, gives FaZe a strong unpredictability to their defense because now the opponents have to worry about a jet op on almost every angle each round, varying every round, right? Also, Zachary's Killjoy setup is fantastic on the B bomb site, and he does such a solid job that it allows FaZe to successfully retake with a bit more ease on the B site, right? On attack, FaZe seems to be at their most comfortable executing on B, with Corey using his boombot and hookah and getting hookah control. FaZe Clan and Ascent. Looking at FaZe Clan boasting a 21% win rate percentage. On Ascent, this isn't a good look for FaZe. Having Ascent as one of the weakest maps in their pool is not a good stat to have. Due to many top tier teams favoring this map, it can be argued that FaZe is going to struggle against a lot of top tier teams because if they have a pick, they're going to pick Ascent, right? Because it's an obvious weakness for FaZe Clan. For example, they had an 8-4 lead against Gen G during the UMG Open qualifiers. But Gen G reversed them, winning with a 13-11 score. What I noticed is there has been a lot of rounds on Ascent that Marv will take a 1v1 in the opening 10 seconds of a match when he's on defense, which means FaZe lose their smokes. Smokes isn't a very important for stalling or disrupting vision for the attackers. Does this aggression lead FaZe to losing multiple rounds because they couldn't get a pick in the early round? I think they could play a little more passive due to Ascent being more of a tactical map by nature, right? More of like a CSGO map, you gotta hold angles, you gotta have good defensive strategies. And FaZe playing a little too aggressive might be the reason why their win percentage is very low. Alright, so I know that a lot of people don't like Marv as a person, but looking at him just as a professional player in Valorant, he's a star performer for FaZe by far. I mean, if you look at the numbers here, he's putting up these numbers and shot calling for FaZe. I think Marv builds confidence with his early aggression and his aggressive playstyle. What makes Marv such a star performer is that every game he's consistent. On the Omen, probably the most aggressive Omen in competitive play, plays around his smokes, and likes to swing at choke points. He understands that they're going to default in certain choke points, and Marv is there testing their aim, testing their ability, and getting his teammates going with an early pick. And that's a strategy that FaZe likes to use in multiple rounds. It also makes them unpredictable, right? Usually a lot of teams will play passive, where with FaZe and Marv, they're gonna try some aggressive plays. Corey, during the Ignition days and when he got signed for FaZe, many expected him to be that star performer. But unfortunately, he's been a bit of a mixed bag. He'll do a best of 3, right? He'll have a match where he goes 20-8 on Raze, and then the next game he's going maybe 7-15, or an underwhelming performance at 4-16. So the thing with Corey is, maybe it's the way FaZe has evolved over the months, but Corey's not that star guy anymore. And that's something that some of us might need to accept, that Baby Bay and Marv are stepping up to the plate for FaZe. Ever since Baby Bay moved to Jet and FaZe transitioned their team composition, he's been a standout performer for a lot of games for FaZe. In this one in particular, he finished with 28 kills and 6 deaths during a clutch game against NRG. This was a game to qualify to the closed qualifiers. But FaZe in general looked more like a team that has finally clicked. They won their favorite map in Bind with their pressure on offense and their counter-attacking defense, taking any advantages they can by forcing opening duels early on during the default phase. NRG won Haven with ease, and it seemed like FaZe lost a lot of confidence in that game after losing 13-7. The last map in this match was Ascent, and it seemed like NRG was going to annihilate FaZe due to the weakness that FaZe shows when playing on this map. But every member on that team stepped up and improved tremendously, not faltering on their weakest map. Multiple first bloods by Marv, and excellent jet play by Baby Bay to allow scaling on executes for FaZe. I watched a number of times Baby Bay using his tailwind to get into the site and create problems for NRG. My final thoughts of FaZe is, it's weird, but their play style is based off moments. And when they create moments by aggression, this can lead them to win a lot of rounds and building enough momentum to win the game as a whole. But this style of play and this reliance of momentum and confidence can be very inconsistent. That's why we see players like Corey and Raucus and Zachary kind of just be inconsistent, because maybe their style of play should be more focused on certain setups, certain default strategies, a little more utility usage, and maybe they can find themselves at the First Strike main event if they work out these inconsistency issues, because this is a talented roster at the end of the day, and they're on a 4-game win streak. But I wonder what you guys think. Comment down below. You think FaZe is a roster that will manage to qualify to the First Strike event? Or is there no chance and I might just be hyping up FaZe right now? But yeah, this was First Strike preview, guys. Hopefully I catch you guys on the flip.